Right, they open the show. One of the most unkind things ever in TV is to show a bunch of kids that are 16 or 17 playing on the Ed Sullivan Show, and then the reveal 30 years later. You know? Except that everybody was really playing great then, and I got to be sort of a bench guy. So I was playing with John with NRBQ, and Al was telling me, yeah, play those, yeah. You play the Zolly parts, and I'm like, I gotta get to play the Zolly parts. That's a dream. And then with Felix, he said, you sing the Eddie parts. I said, I get to sing the Eddie parts. This is like too much fun. So that's where we met. And then John and I figured, well, let's do something everybody's gonna want to see. So we put a jug band together. It was okay. We made a couple albums.
We had fun.
We were relentless about it. People are they're gonna come around to this. They're gonna have to love this. And that Mobile line was like we would open every show with that. And maybe now, in those days, and this is like late '80s, right? In those days, there was no such word as Americana. It just didn't exist. Today we would have been, oh my God, if we had that band today. And we had Fritz Richmond from the great Fritz Richmond on Jug and Washtub. And he was something to be, if you ever saw the Jim Kweskin Jug Band, you would have seen Fritz. And when we went on the road, James Wormworth had actually washboard, and Fritz had a washtub bass that John and I would hit the guitar stores when we got in town, and Fritz and Warren would hit the hardware store looking for stuff for their instruments.
Parts.
Yeah, and so it was one of the favorite experiences of my life, and John and I have been working together ever since then. We're threatening to put the jug band back together.
That's right.
We think now with the Americana thing, it'll be like, oh, well, everybody's doing that now.
Yeah.
So, hey, Pat,
Yeah.
you want to play guitar? John will play some harp, man. You have to play you can handle this.
Oh, I don't know, man.
No, I think so.
Nice.
Does anyone know Pat O'Shea here besides me? You should know him. He put this whole show together. And believe me, if he couldn't play, I wouldn't be asking him to play.
So, I think you guys did the jug band thing at a festival in Saugerties at Opus 40.
Oh, yes.
Now think this, right?
Yeah.
Sun Seals,
Yeah.
rest in peace. You guys, Billy Perry, rest in peace.
Yeah.
And we didn't know each other then, but so my blues band was like one of the first bands of the day.
Yeah.
And the promoter comes to me and says, hey, would you mind backing Fathead? And I'm like, Fathead? Who the hell's Fathead? Right? Like, because why would David Fathead Newman be there, right? He goes, David Fathead Newman. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, would you guys back him? So we backed David Fathead Newman at the festival.
Yeah.
And so here's a cringeworthy story for all the vintage guitar and amplifier nuts. That day I had a 56 Twin, the 2 rectifier one, right? The low power one that everyone loves now. And of course I wanted the big one, but whatever. So I had this and I had it in a case, and after our set I packed up and I was wheeling it over to the van. And this was at a park in Saugerties called Opus 40. And some artist spent like 40 years building it at a rock. It's awesome, it's crazy.
It was a tribute to his wife that left him.
That's exactly what it was. But there's a big hill. And I don't even know what happened, but the case got away from me and went flying like a cartoon down this hill and then started toppling into the woods. And I was just standing there like, oh my God. So
how was it? Was the case good? The amp was fine?
The case was fine. The amp broke the baffle.
Of course.
But it worked.
Because what year was that amp?
56.
Oh.
You know who I got that from? L.A. Jones. You know L.A.?
No, but now we're just going to go into that rabbit hole, folks, where we all go at guitar shows. Anyway, pass that mic down that way.
No, I'm good.
No, he's not going to sing now. You're just going to. But you just bring the whole stand out because he can't possibly. If he plays on it, he's going to blow the system up with those lungs. So harp. Anybody play the harp out there? Really? We should have put that metal detector in the door. No, I occasionally will wheeze on the harp, and I'll say, how do these guys hold that long note, like, and it goes through the whole song. I can't breathe that long. There must be some circular breathing.
It's like Rashawn Roland Kirk there, right?
Is it like you run out of breath, huh?
That is a long breath.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, that's what, well, no, I guess I'm stuck in A, right? We got
But you don't have to say
No, I want to go to G.
Okay.
We're going to go to G, yeah. But I was speaking with, I did something with Robbie Krieger 2 weeks ago in LA. We were talking about John, who appears on one of their records. Yeah, John's on that. He's as John Pugliese, which is his family name. I didn't know this my whole life, that I had got thrown in with another Italian somehow. I could actually speak. Gee, right? We're going to talk about Hubert for a minute. Our buddy Hubert Sumlin, who was Howlin' Wolf's guitar player, and it seemed like the sidemen outlived the stars in those. So we got to play with a lot of these guys that we probably wouldn't have if their bosses were still alive. They wouldn't have been playing with us. So, yeah, we were lucky, and also with Levon, the two of us that had put in some time. There's a Howlin' Wolf. Let's play.
I don't have a C.
Oh, you don't have a C?
I know what you're looking for.
What do you got?
Almost any of the other cowboy keys.
A is good. All right, you need a D. A is fine. It's the other G.